So how long have you been doing this?
Not long enough. This is day 5 for me.
Really?
Yeah. Now I do have a studio at home and I make pottery, but not like this. This is production pottery.
Okay.
And so it's.
And that's a 1 pound ball of clay.
1 pound ball of clay, yes, and it's measured out. We work up all the clay. It comes in a bag and we send it through a pug mill. The pug mill is sort of like a sausage maker. You put the clay in and it de-airs it and conditions it. It comes out in a big log. We cut it into 2-inch sections, and that equals 1 pound for our. First thing is to get the clay. Well, I've got a bat. These are removable bats. So if you're doing some piecework that you don't want to pick up afterwards, you can take it off on that, but I'm going to pick mine up off of that. So first is getting it stuck down into the center and applying pressure with both hands until the clay is centered on the wheel. Have it centered before you can make anything, or it'll just be a wreck. So you can see my hands are pretty smooth on there. So that is centered, and then this step is called opening. So I'm using 2 thumbs to open to the depth that I want, and then I'm going to pull out the bottom of the coffee mug, flatten that, smooth it a little bit, and the next is to pull up the walls of the pots.
So you have a private studio too, correct?
Yeah, a little place set up at home, and I actually do animal sculptures out of clay, but I wanted to get better at throwing on the wheel, so I'm apprenticing here with the master potter who has been making pottery for over 30 years. So he knows a thing or two about throwing pots on the wheel.
Yeah. That's probably Randy. I need to go get that if you just...
I'll keep going. Well, that went kind of fast.
It's getting faster. Alright, and so that gets my cylinder up to the height that I want. And then I'm going to take a rib and clean off the slurry from the outside of the pot. Some potters will leave the finger marks from the throwing. It's kind of just a aesthetic. If you like that, you leave it, or sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. And you can kind of form the shape a little bit at this point. So maybe make it a little bit more of a curve so it's got a little more pleasing shape. And then you have to be get the water out from inside. If you leave that sitting in there, the clay gets too smushy and will collapse. And then I want to clean up down at the bottom edge. Remove this excess clay. Okay, and then this part, I'm making a little foot for the pots. All the pots out here, you see, they've got a little rim at the bottom, and that's a foot. And it serves to be kind of a pleasing aesthetic, but it also has a purpose in that when the pots are fired in the kiln, the glaze runs down the pot. It gets very hot, it's molten glass, and that gives a little edge for it to catch on so that we don't go out and all over the kiln shelves in the kiln, and then you have to grind all that glaze off if it runs over. So I'm going to add that little foot right now. kind of refine the lip of the mug a little bit so that it's comfortable when you're drinking out of it. I'm going to soften that harsh edge. And that also compresses the clay a little bit, which makes it less likely to break. So that's the mug body finished. I'm going to cut it off, and then after this sets up and it gets to a point called leather hard, where most of the moisture is out but the clay has still got a little bit, then we attach handles and pull those and attach them, and then the whole thing gets fired in a bisque temperature kiln, which hardens the clay, and then they are glazed and refired again. So that's it.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and a share, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell. See you next time.